Imagine a wall of stone, 580 meters long, holding back billions of liters of water in a desert 3,000 years ago. You are standing before an engineering miracle that defies the logic of the ancient world. This was not just a pile of rocks. It was the Great Dam of Marib, the beating heart of the Sheba civilization. It represents a level of hydrological mastery that makes modern civil engineers pause in disbelief. You must understand that this structure was not built with simple tools or guesswork. It was the result of a sophisticated understanding of fluid dynamics, soil mechanics, and structural integrity. The geography of the Arabian Peninsula presented a brutal challenge to any builder. You see a landscape where rain is rare, but arrives in violent sudden floods called wadis. These floods carry enough energy to pulverize standard stone walls and wash away entire cities. The engineers of Sheba recognized this. They did not try to fight the water with brute force alone. Instead, they designed a system to harvest its power. They chose a specific narrowing in the Wadi Adhana to anchor their masterpiece. This was the first stroke of genius. By selecting two mountains as natural anchors, they reduced the amount of artificial material needed while maximizing the structural stability of the dam. Look closely at the masonry of the two great sluices. You will see limestone blocks carved with surgical precision. These were not held together by luck. The Sabaean engineers used a specialized mortar known as Hura. This was a volcanic ash-based mixture that became harder and more water-resistant when exposed to moisture. It is a precursor to what you might recognize as hydraulic cement. They laid these stones in a staggered pattern to distribute the weight and the pressure of the reservoir. To further reinforce the structure, they bored holes through the massive blocks and poured molten lead and iron around metal dowels. This created a metallic skeleton inside the stone. This technology ensured that the dam could withstand the immense seismic shifts and the repetitive battering of the seasonal floods. The hydraulic gates are where the technical superiority of Sheba truly shines. You are looking at two massive stone structures on the northern and southern ends of the dam. These were not just exits for water. They were sophisticated pressure management systems. The southern sluice alone stands as a monument to precision engineering. It featured a series of settling basins designed to solve the greatest enemy of any dam, which is siltation. When floodwaters carry sand and mud, they fill the reservoir and make it useless. The Sheba engineers designed the gates to create a specific flow velocity. This allowed the heavy silt to drop into designated areas before the water entered the irrigation canals. You are seeing a bypass system that many modern dams struggle to replicate today. The distribution network was even more impressive than the dam itself. From these two sluices, the water entered a massive canal system that stretched across the landscape. You can trace the primary, secondary, and tertiary channels that fed what the ancients called the two gardens. This network covered over 72 square kilometers of once barren desert. The engineers used gravity as their primary engine. They calculated the slope of the land with incredible accuracy, ensuring that water reached the furthest fields without losing its momentum. This was not just farming. This was a massive industrial operation of food security that supported hundreds of thousands of people in a region that should have been uninhabitable. Think about the logistical requirements of such a project. You need a centralized government, a massive workforce, and a library of mathematical knowledge. The Sheba civilization possessed all three. They understood the relationship between water volume and pressure long before the formal laws of physics were written in the West. They managed the seasonal cycles of the Marib Dam for over 1,000 years. This longevity is a testament to their maintenance standards. They had specialized teams who inspected the masonry after every flood. They understood that a single crack could lead to a catastrophic breach. This level of technical oversight is what placed ancient Arab technology in a leading position on the global stage. The sheer scale of the Marib Dam was equivalent to the Great Pyramid of Giza in terms of the labor and planning required. However, unlike a tomb, this was a functional piece of infrastructure that created life. When you analyze the cross-section of the dam, you see a thick earthen core faced with heavy stone. This composite construction allowed the dam to be flexible enough to absorb vibrations but heavy enough to resist the horizontal force of the water. It was a gravity dam of the highest order. The engineers even included spillways to handle overflow during extreme weather events. This prevented the water from overtopping the main wall, which is the leading cause of dam failure even in the 21st century. You must realize that the eventual collapse of the dam was not just a failure of stone. It was a failure of the social systems that maintained it. When the incense trade routes shifted and the economy of Sheba weakened, the technical maintenance ceased. The Hura mortar was not replaced. The silt was not cleared from the basins. Finally, a massive flood struck that the neglected structure could no longer hold. The resulting breach was so legendary that it is recorded in ancient texts as a turning point in history. The desert reclaimed the gardens, and the people dispersed across the peninsula. But the ruins that remain today still stand as a challenge to our modern ego. They prove that our ancestors were not primitive. They were master architects of the natural world. The technical analysis of the Marib Dam forces you to rethink the history of innovation. While other civilizations were building monuments to their kings, the people of Sheba were building monuments to survival and resource management. They turned the most hostile environment on Earth into a lush paradise through pure intellectual power and engineering discipline. Their legacy is etched into every carved stone and every remaining canal. It is a reminder that the peak of human capability is often found in the most challenging conditions. You are looking at the foundation of Arab technical excellence that would later influence the entire world during the golden age of science. If you found this deep dive into the engineering secrets of the ancient world fascinating, you are exactly the kind of mind this channel is built for. Your curiosity is the fuel that keeps this technical exploration alive. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a breakdown of history's greatest technical achievements. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think modern technology could build a structure that lasts for 1,000 years with only natural materials? Let us start a discussion about the forgotten genius of our ancestors and the lessons they have for our future. Your engagement helps us bring more of these hidden truths to light. Stay curious and keep searching for the mechanics behind the mystery.